Hi, Taurus. Welcome to this space. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure. If you are new here, this space is called Opal Oracle, and welcome. Very nice to have you. My name is Raaji. That's what I like to be called. And if you're returning, thank you so very much. Again, always a pleasure, Taurus. Alrighty, this month I'm going to show the cards. It's fun. It feels, I like trying something new. I always do something, it's never, well, what do I want to say? It's nice to try new things, right, Taurus? It's good for you. Shake it up a little bit, and feel confident about that, right? So, before we get into this, let me see if there's anything else while I pick a couple of runes for you. I feel like you'll be, this is a great time for learning. I also feel like this could also, there could be some males in your life. And I actually saw mail as like a letter or a piece of paper or some sort of something like this, some sort of mail, maybe email, I don't know, that also makes you very happy. For some of you, this actually could be, ooh, that's happening fast. Just a second. I think we'll, did it work? I actually saw for somebody out there, it's a, you actually could have like some sort of, like if you've applied for something, it could also be like, oh, you're accepted. Let me see if I can make that brighter. How do we do that? There we go. Alrighty. Something is accepted. That's a good thing. Acceptance. All right, let me bring this down. See if we can show you the cards here. Okay, so oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's get into it. Taurus. So the first thing I focused in on was I feel like Capricorn has a message for you. You kind of overlapped into their reading, but they had a similar energy of people looking over into this corner, the same corner. So, some of you really need to let go of some worry. Could be guilt for some of you. I feel like letting go of guilt, good. Letting go of control, good. Like all the, there's some things here where it's like coulda, woulda, shouldas are sort of big in this space. And so if you know, for instance, in the past, right, where you made a mistake, well, whatever those coulda, shoulda, wouldas are, be aware of them, because guilt can be very helpful in teaching us, right? This is what Capricorn Saturn is for, a part of it. It helps the garden grow, right? You didn't call your grandma, she passed away, you felt guilty about it, you shoulda, coulda, woulda called her. Well, then, you know, then you pick up the phone next time, right? Things like this. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just letting you know that this is an example. I also feel like there's also something that is, you are desiring, like there's a, I guess this could have a little bit to do with something that you're, okay, the thing you have to let go of is actually something, whatever you're, I need to say it again. Whatever you're needing or trying to let go of, it is really, really, really hard for you to let go of. This could be a habit. This could be guilt. Guilt can be a habit, right? But the thing is it's not bringing you happiness anymore, whatever the thing is that you know you need to disengage from. Now, whatever that uncertainty is or insecurity about it, I feel like Gemini has a message for you. It's kind of like you already know better, and you know you have to let go because, okay, Taurus, I love you. But the thing is about Taurus, and everyone has it in a different spot, and I feel like this is more of Taurus sun specifically, or maybe like a Taurus moon, something very, even a Taurus Venus. It's kind of like a very personal space, right? Because you're a fixed sign, it's very hard for you to let go, especially once you involve yourself with it for a certain amount of time. Now, again, I heard this could go back into guilt, right? But the thing is you know from your experiences that when you don't let go, right, air and fire, they have to let go all the time. You can't hold fire, right? You can't hold air. It's impossible. Earth, sure. Water, you can put it in a vessel, right? But when you don't let go, then you get kicked out. You get kicked out. You know what I mean? Like, something will happen to push you to change. So whatever it is that you know you need to change, please, please be open to it. And I see, don't feel guilty about that. And I don't know how many times we said the word guilt. It's very big. What do you feel guilty about right now? But I feel like for most of you, this could have to do with something now, but I really feel like this has to do with something that is very old. Very old. Like from childhood, it could be your father, it could be like an old lover, it could be your children, things like this. It's like, again, it's an interpersonal relationship, and for others of you, bad habit. Because actually, this card came out initially in the upright, and then I decided to put these all in a pile and then spread them out. And when this came out, it actually wasn't included. It was off on the side and in the reverse, which shows me, again, a good letting go, right? Of something, of guilt, perhaps for some of you, also bad habit, which has come for a lot of people during this time. It could also have to, and a lot of this has to do with being able to be steady in where you're at, and then ensuring that you are continuing to move. Remember, they say Uranus is moving through your sign, so it's always going to, it's shifting you. You know what I mean? It's meant to enlighten you. And if you need to remember, let's reflect for a second. Let's say 3 years ago, last May, right? 3 years ago in May, think back 3.5 years ago. That shifted you, right? Or shortly thereafter, something shifted. Some of you moved home. Some of you got divorced. Some of you, there was bigger changes. And whatever house Taurus sits in, whatever place, is the thing that shifted and the opposing of it. But that's another story. In simple terms, I guess this is about being open to change. And also realizing that no matter how responsible you feel for other people, you have to be strong in yourself. You have to rise up and be you. Do you know what I mean? You facing your own fears, you facing your own weakness, you facing your own shadow and insecurities is what makes you a strong person. You know, surrender, which is really the essence of letting go, is actually expressive of courage and wisdom, right? When someone's not willing to let go, and that's a big part of this Queen of Pentacles. You see her, she knows she has to. It's this, she's in tune with the seasons, but it's hard for her because she's comfortable where she is, right? But the thing is everything grows, right? And therefore it needs more, things need space. Now the cool thing is if you let go, you end up with more power in yourself, more magic in yourself. I actually see it's very successful. It's also a lesson with Scorpio for you, your opposite, in overcoming some sort of fear in yourself, which actually I heard makes your garden grow, right? Not only in a physical sense, in ways of comfort and stability, money, whatever, but also spiritually, very, very much. And I do see this as like, because I see it again, to let go is to surrender. To surrender is an expression of courage and wisdom. Please remember that. Because the thing is you go from the Queen to the Page, which actually you see her in this card. It's in her hands, right? She's holding it. It's in her lap. She's sitting with it. She's sort of hunched over it. It's very protective, right? But then it turns into the Page, which is standing, right? Holding it kind of in the fingertips, chin up, right? Shoulders back, confident. And is like, it's almost as if the wind is going to catch this and allow it to go, which is sort of like a seed in the wind, right? And the thing is if you are willing to have courage and use, like, something about this surrender, it brings you such great joy. And the awesome thing is this section I entitled your surprise. You actually have the card of blessing and you have the Ace of Pentacles. So whatever it is you let go of, you actually get the same thing back, but even more of it, because you trusted yourself, because you trusted your choices, you trusted, again, I heard yourself, which overcomes your own fear, which gives you more faith in yourself and in God, which helps the whole. It helps your family. It helps your children. It helps your parents. It helps your lovers, you know, your friends, your coworkers. It helps everybody. It really, really does. And the cool thing is if you notice, all this energy on the top is going this way towards this Five of Pentacles. And all this energy on the bottom is going absolutely the other way. And you end up with Judgment, the Angel, people being, this is a card that represents becoming alive again, right? It's so beautiful. And so I guess this is also, for some of you, if you're aware, this is a lesson this is a bigger lesson. And this is also a lesson you've been learning for quite some time. You've been practicing. So maybe this is also where now you are, for instance, strong enough, confident enough, you have the ability, the awareness, the intelligence, right? The intuitiveness, all of this. To be, even financially, for some of you, in addition, like the comfort there, right? That stability for you. It's like I heard all the boxes are now checked enough for you to face something that I heard scares the shit out of you. And if you actually do it, instead of you just allowing life to happen to you, right? You don't want to break up with that person. You don't want to say you wanted to. Now, I'm not supporting divorce, or I'm giving an example. Someone's in a relationship, they're not happy, they don't want to leave the marriage because, oh, well, what would they do without me, or blah, 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 or this kind of thing. But then all of a sudden, the other spouse is like, hey, actually, I want a divorce. And you're like, what? Like, you know, it's about taking the initiative. And maybe some of you want to think about this in ways of, when in your life have you known when you were like, I should have gave my notice at that job. I could have said I wanted to, I wanted to break up with that person, but then they broke up with me. I should have gave my notice, but then I was fired. Like, I should have, could have, would have. What are those things? Because there's something here that's really wanting you to open up. Right, I said this to somebody else. You can't have any, maybe Aries, you can't grab anything with closed fists. Do you know what I mean? If your hands are just, it's like you can't, you cannot receive. If your hands are cupped or filled with crutches. So please be okay with that. Like, maybe you just want to say this to yourself too. And whether you have your guides or your ancestors or your diary or whatever it is that you communicate in a kind of unconscious way, some unconscious writing could also be very helpful for you. And I actually feel like, well, let me stick to the point. Well, I see. The only thing that people, well, how do I want to say this? Just a second. The world will go on without you, but that does not make you any less important. Like, your importance does not diminish via your participation with it, especially physically. Like, your effort matters so much, and actually your example as a Taurian to be able to let go is such a beautiful example of openness, of the beautiful Venusian loving energy that you are, because that's what love is. Love should flow through you, not something that you grab and hold on to, right, and not let go. Because I heard, how can you have anything new? You can't have anything new if you don't let go. And I know this may feel like a downward sort of slide, right? Because you go again from the Queen to the Page, which is working its way down, and then from the Page all the way to the Ace. Like, that's a big slide, you know? But if you go down the slide, you win. You win, and I see, and this expands so much the magic within you. Karmically, like in your health, in your relationships with other people, your relationships with God. But you have to feel confident to do it. You're the only one that can do it, right? Nobody likes to have something forced from their hands, pried from their hands. It doesn't feel good to do that, right? Leo, for instance, look how loose he's hanging onto that wand. Can you see that? And the other hand is just like, yeah, whatever. Because the King of Wands knows he doesn't need this wand. There's sticks all over the place. You know what I mean? He's not afraid. The King of Wands is not afraid of losing anything, because the King of Wands knows that he can create anything that he wants and has the confidence to do it. And even if he fails, quote unquote, he doesn't feel guilty about it. He just knows, like, oh, all right, well, that wasn't my best bet. I guess next time, maybe that was a little foolish. All right, well, next time I'll do it. And maybe this, I guess I'll bring it up because I want to see you, because I know this is a bit emotional, 2121. I heard that song. It's like, we're gonna rise up. What is that? Queen of Wands. Awesome. Maybe there's something about Leo here too that would be very helpful. I mean, they say this is Leo season, although it's technically Cancer, but it doesn't matter. The sun and the moon. Please remember that you are strong. You are capable. You are... Maybe you need to tell yourself a little bit more. Like, I know I need to let go of this. I know that this needs to change. I know that I am strong and I can do it. Oh, I know what to do. Just a second. Ooh, what was that lion? Just a second. This is reminding me of this Five of Pentacles, okay? I would also say, in a fundamental way, there is a season for everything, okay? Some seasons, in spring, it blooms a lot. There's a lot of life. We're coming, depending where you are, for some of you, this is winter. This is a winter time. For others of you, winter is approaching, which is a season that is slower, it's colder, it takes more to do something, so you may have to give it, I heard the good college try to get it on there, but it says the winter of the spiritual life is upon you. You may find yourself entangled in a situation to whose implications you are, in effect, blind. You may feel powerless to do anything except submit, surrender, even sacrifice some long-cherished desire. Be patient, for this is the period of gestation that precedes rebirth. Trying to hold on now can result in shallowness of feeling, a sense of being out of touch with life. Seek to discover what it is you are holding on to that perpetuates this condition and let go. Shed, release, cleanse away the old. Doing so will bring on the thaw and the new. Sometimes this may require a sacrifice of the personal, of the I. At such a time, you cannot hope to rely on help or friendly support. Although I actually see it is a test. You have friends, you have loved ones, you have God, but this is a test of you doing it for yourself. Okay? There's something about this. It says, yet there is no reason for anxiety. Submit and be still. For what you are experiencing or will be experiencing in this surrender is not necessarily the result of your actions or habits, but rather arises from conditions about which you can do nothing. What has been full must become empty. What has increased must decrease. This is the way of heaven and earth. And this is where I actually just read this earlier. To surrender is to display courage and wisdom. Just as winter is a time for going within, this can also announce a time of restoration and renewal at the deepest level. In your solitude, exercise caution and do not stubbornly persist in attempting to work your will. I heard or control. Remain mindful that the seed of the new is present in the shell of the old. The seed of unrealized potential, the seed of the good. Trust your own process and watch for signs of spring. And I want to read you this bit at the end, which I actually had never seen before until now. I like when that happens. You know, when you've seen something or had something that's been in your midst for a long time and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've never seen that before. Never understood that before. It's entitled The Gift of the Self. There are no more maps, no more creeds, no more philosophies. From here on in, the directions come straight from God. The curriculum is being revealed millisecond by millisecond, invisibly, intuitively, spontaneously, lovingly. As one of the Thomas Merton's monks has it, go into your cell, and your cell will teach you everything there is to know. Your cell, yourself. Akshara Nur. And this is a picture of the stone lion in Paris, Greece. Maybe you really should look at Leo. Again, this is that courage, you know? I want you to believe in yourself. Whatever you're going through now too, it really isn't anything in like if you were to compare it to what you have been through, I feel like this is a triggering to whatever you need to let go of. Because it could be something that you actually is very small, right? For instance, like a guilt about something. I mean, guilt can be big, but guilt isn't like a physical thing. Or maybe it's just something, again, it could be something very small, but the essence of the lesson of it is connected to something deeper. I mean, you have to remember, the opposite of you is Scorpio. So, in essence, you feel very closely connected to whatever it is that you deeply, soulfully love. But you also, there's also always a level of separation or a need to understand non-attachment. And also embracing change, right? Scorpio is always changing. And so remember, making small adjustments helps so that there isn't a big, huge shift, because you don't really like that, right? So whatever it is that you know you need to change, let go of, be more courageous about, surrender to, do it. You can do it. And I heard it again. We're gonna rise up. What is that song? And again, there's something really, really, really beautiful here. Maybe some of you want to read. Oh, let me see if I can do it before the camera runs out. Hold on.
Oh, it's outside. Wait a second. Hi, baby.
I was going to suggest like reading Psalms, or maybe it's like the Bhagavad Gita. Like maybe there's some religious text that could also help you in this time. This is wise sayings from the Proverbs. Let me see, Taurus. Okay. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. And so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. Because I guess that's another thing in letting go, right? It's about trusting whatever it is that you're letting go of, that you'll be okay. Do you know what I mean? That you won't be without. And even if you were a monk without anything or anyone around you, no physical things, no soft squishy beds or laughing children or I don't know, fancy cars or whatever, it's like happiness doesn't come from any of those physical things anyway. You know this in your soul. And so I guess also, if there are any people, for instance, some of you need to let go of, please know that, well, each person is their own. And that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to be the most faithful, loving, understanding, open-minded, accepting, and I guess peaceful through surrendering whenever you can in your life. You know, and in a loving way. You know, for instance, when a Taurus says, like, hey, it's time for me to go, Like, I have to do this for myself. It's rare to hear. But it's always so beautiful. Because you're meant to figure out how to do that. However you may find that path. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes that's even just saying it to yourself. Who's there? I love this card. Gemini has a message. Capricorn has a message. I love you so much. Whatever it is you need to do, you can do it. And I know you can do it in the sweetest, most loving way. Please feel confident. Love comes from within you, Taurus, not from without of you. Trust that. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the deep conversation. North Node's in your sign, you know. It makes sense you got to step up and be really strong. You know. Kick a little bit more of Aries in there. Told you a couple years ago. Wear more red. You know what I mean? Or purple. Or red sparkly pants. Purple socks. I don't know. Zip it up a little. Sass it up. Zazz it up. Gonna rise up. I'll talk to you later. Peace.